Hey there everybody, my name is DOSTA. Welcome back to the dystopia. Of course, I'm in the utopia right now, being in nature. And what I wanted to talk about was this question of get with the times. This question of elitism. The question of people who follow the path and somehow get involved in the transformation, get involved in changing themselves, get involved with finding new things. And it is a bit of an elitism thing, right? That's what keeps coming up for me, is this question of, am I better than everyone else? Am I more intelligent than everyone else? Am I more important? Am I more significant? Yes, maybe it's an ego thing, maybe it's a pride thing, but the phrase get with the times really does apply. It really does come up as a response to the stupidity that we see, the misunderstanding that we see. Because this phrase, get with the times, it's like there's so much that it can mean. There's so much that it actually implies and it's trying to encompass. Because we see information now, we see this digital sphere that we've got, and the resources are there to discover what you need to discover. The resources are there to find a better way of thinking, to find a better way of feeling, to find a better way of explaining yourself, expressing yourself, relating to others, feeling your feelings, and all the rest of it. And I do often project onto others this thing of, how can you be so stupid? How can you not know about all the things that I know about? That's why I say, get with the times. That's why I say, how can you not have discovered the things that I have discovered? Because when you're on the path, and maybe you can explain to me why there's a difference in this, why some people get it and why some people don't. Because as you're going along, you're receiving information. Yeah, you're involved in the digital sphere, you're listening to videos and talks or whatever, you're seeing images or whatever it is. You're taking information in and then you're responding to that. You're following something into something else. You're following an interest. Now I want to know, why is it that when I did that, when I followed that process, I found new speakers, insightful speakers, interesting speakers, people that provided wisdom, people that provided deep advice, people that said, hey, you actually need to take this action. You actually need to do this. You actually need to read this book. And then, of course, I followed the breadcrumbs and I continued walking the path and continued doing it. And I read the books. I did the things. I went to the places. And I opened up to this grand experience. I opened up to the path of life, the multidimensionality, the love, the consciousness, yeah? And now, now that I've experienced that, I think, why don't other people do that? Why do other people somehow seem to be stuck in their little circle, their little flow, their little world, and going from one thing to another without getting the depth? It's like, get with the times. Like, how can you not know about meditation? How can you not know about perception dynamics? When I hear people talking about political commentaries, or woe is me, or this has to happen like this, or this is my problem, or this is how things are, I so often think, why can't you get with the times? Why can't you discover this new thing? And I realize that it is a kind of elitism. It is a kind of upper intelligence. This is why we call it higher intelligence. I mean, what higher intelligence is really only relative to everyone else. What we call normal common sense is really just what everyone knows. And it might be that there's always a paretal distribution or whatever it is. Yeah, there might always be an 80-20 principle. I don't know. But I like to think that actually human beings can all have a higher intelligence. We can all have an understanding of what meditation is, of what perception dynamics is. Yeah? As if people haven't noticed by now that social media is toxic. As if people haven't noticed that meditation is critical. And it's like when you realize this and when you see this, you see that people do, yeah? People do exercise, people do eat healthy, people do open their heart, people do open to sensitivity, people do travel, people do read books. There are people that are doing this. It's like get with the times. How long does it take you to get on board with this? How long does it take you to actually see, okay, I'm on track with this and I'm following a path that takes me step by step deeper into something more meaningful, something that's more opening, something that's more profound. Now, what I'm trying to create with my process of getting with the times is to contribute my conveyor belt or my process. And the way I do that is by creating an online course that takes you step by step through an understanding with the real actions that you can take. Yes, that's why it's designed piece by piece, because you do one thing and then you follow another thing and then it goes to a string of things that take you into a new understanding. Now that's very different to going around and around in circles. That's very different to scrolling constantly. That's very different to being in an echo chamber of fighting with people that you disagree with and agreeing with people that agree with you. Going back and forth like that doesn't take you anywhere. You really have to take the next step. You really have to actually look at yourself and realize, this is not working. I need to get with the times. I need to get with the people that have done it. And when you meet someone who has followed this path, someone who has changed and developed, when you really meet someone who's evolving and transforming their life, they're really inspiring, yeah? It's an amazing person. It's a person who has all sorts of ways of thinking, all sorts of ideas, all different feelings throughout the day. The way they talk about themselves is different. The way they value themselves is different. The way they relate to others is different. And you think, why can't I have that? I wish I could be more like that person. I wish I could be more inspired. I wish I could wake up every day feeling like that. And the answer is, well, you can. You can be like that. You just need to get with the times. And well, you could say that the times that we live in is the age of idiocracy. And well, you know, it's always been an idiocracy. There's always been a mass of the commons. There's always been a unconsciousness of bad behavior. There's a sphere of human nature which is dark, which is bad, which is destructive. We all have within us self-destructive properties as well as self-creative properties. So getting with the times and following this path, this is so interesting. I still don't know why it is that some people seem to naturally evolve. Some people seem to naturally have this. Some people get it. Some people just know, yeah? They get with it, they have their intelligence. And it might be that, you know, that's the nature of humanity. That's the nature of our differences, which is that some people are naturally talented with higher awareness and intelligence, and some people are not, and that's just how it's always going to be, and we can't help the people that can't help themselves. Maybe that's the case. It's just the way things are. It might also be that people can transform, people can change. Now, it's my experience that if you take anyone, any human being, and you put them in a situation where there's support methods and there's environment that pushes them towards transformation, if they are intelligent, they will transform. If they have this talent, they will change. But if they don't, if there's someone who is stuck in their ways, then they'll be repelled from that environment. They will be kicked out, yeah? It's almost just like if you're someone who doesn't resonate with this message here that I'm talking, you've already clicked off onto another video. You've already tuned out. You're not involved in it. It doesn't take, you know. Why doesn't it take? You're not getting with the times. And it's my experience that, I mean, I was going to say that, you know, whoever you put in a supportive environment is someone that does change themselves. But, you know, when I think about it, there's some people that do get repelled by that environment. They do fall back into their ways. So I think more people are more intelligent than you would first think. Yeah, this kind of elitism where it's only a special chosen few that would ever make it is, you know, I don't quite buy that. I think most people are aware of themselves enough to transform and get with the times, as we could say. But really, I don't know what the difference is. I don't know how is it that some people take to higher awareness and some people don't. So join me on this journey. I'm looking for people to work with. I'm looking for people to connect with. So please leave me a comment, subscribe, tell me what number subscriber you are, and we'll be back very soon with more.